Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We saw some pretty significant changes made to the assault rifle category with those season 4 update in Warzone. We saw certain guns buffed, certain ones nerfed. We saw several attachment changes as well. So today I wanted to break down the assault rifle meta in the game right now and figure out what weapons are the best to be running, because it is somewhat diverse in sort of a weird way. As we get into it, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It really does help grow the channel. And if you're new here or if you haven't subscribed yet, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, so feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So first up, we got the Bar. This is one of my favorites in the game right now because it is low recoil, heavy hitting. It's got that good TTK, and honestly, it's not as slow as you might think based off of what this gun is. You know, slow firing, heavy hitting, you usually assume is going to be not so, you know, versatile, but it's honestly pretty strong. As far as the setup goes, here we are starting off with the MX silencer. We also are running the 30-inch barrel on there. I'm loving the 3 to 6 times scope on this because the recoil is so low. You can have that high zoom and it doesn't really affect your aim all that much. Wire stock here really makes it a lot more aggressive, and because the recoil is so easy, something like Chariot WR with more control is just overkill and frankly not necessary. If you're struggling with it, maybe you're on console, the recoil is a bit more obnoxious, you could definitely run this, but I personally prefer wire. I'm also going for hand stop on here, just some more basic control. The 40 round mag here going to make it easier to use, also makes it a bit more agile and aggressive. Gonna drop lengthened on here as well for that better velocity. I'm liking polymer, but honestly, the way that the meta works right now, you can run taped on about any gun in the game to speed it up, but because this is primarily a primary and not something I'm using to run around with, more so stop, shoot over range, run around with an SMG, get the cleanup, whatever, I don't feel like that's 100% necessary in this case. Gonna go for polymer though, just for that basic control yet again. Hard scope for even more control, and also fully loaded to maximize that ammo. Like I said, low recoil, heavy hitting, you love to see it. Now, the rifle meta is not exclusive to Vanguard guns, even though it's predominantly dominated by those. There are several Cold War guns that conveniently all have the exact same build that do work. This includes the XM4, which we'll use here as an example, but you can copy and paste the setup over to the Vargo, the Fara, the QBZ. You could even try and mess around with maybe the Krig, the Cold War AK a bit still. Basically, any Cold War rifle you want to experiment with, it's the same setup, but there are a few standouts in my opinion. I especially like the Vargo and the XM4 personally, but as we all know, it's agency, it's task force. Field agent, we got the 60 round mag on there, then also the 3 times optic as well. Pretty straightforward, but they are still very competitive. Now, the AS44 continues to see buffs basically with every single major update, it seems. It's still not the easiest gun to use by any means, but it is more high risk, high reward. It's got more control, which is a bit more obnoxious, but the TTK payoff is just absurdly good. We are building for more like a mid-range beast here, if you will. So we're going for MX silencer, the first barrel 615, which is better control and also a slightly better range. I like the 2.5 times on here, good recoil control because of that. I also like the custom stock, better control while you are sustaining fire. Hand stop on here for better control as well. I like the Garanko 50, better control, better fire rate as well, so it makes it a bit more aggressive and helps out with that TTK. Lengthened, and definitely want to run polymer on this one. We also have Gung Ho for some of those close range fights. This will help out with that. Some of the mid range as well, you just get around a little bit faster, helps out there. And then also we got fully loaded on there, no surprises there. But yeah, a really fun, like close to mid range rifle build here that's surprisingly aggressive. Just like the AS44, the M40 has seen a lot of buffs recently too, especially with the season 4 update. It got a lot better. This is actually a very consistent, very strong rifle for medium and long range now. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Like, it's not one that I expected to like as much because I guess it launched and it was so mediocre and so lackluster, I wasn't a fan, but now it actually is pretty fun to use. We got the MX silencer on here. The shrouded barrel is going to be perfect for medium to long range, better control, and also better velocity on there as well. The 3 to 6 times scope per usual, or whatever one you're comfortable with using. That's always super important to consider. I like the 12V stock, better control, better flinch resistance and whatnot on there as well. Hand stop, I just use the basic extended mag here, the Clouser 60. We got lengthened on here per usual, polymer on there as well. For perk 1, tight grip, better control, plain and simple. And then you guessed it, fully loaded on there to maximize that ammo. Now, of course, we got the very basic and very boring, but also ridiculously dominant NZ41. This is the best gun in the game. We all know it fries, so of course it's going to be on the list here today. The setup though, we've covered numerous times over the past week or so because it's just in like every meta video, right? So MX silencer, orb weaver barrel, the 360. I like the 3 to 6 times scope here yet again. Also going to go for the EPAC stock for the best control. We got the Sakura 50 on there. We also got lengthened as far as the underbarrel goes, and stop, pretty basic there. Honestly, you can get away with taped here because polymer, the recoil is so easy, you don't need that. Might as well go for that extra mobility. Frenzy here for the better regen after kills, and fully loaded on there yet again. basic setup, but man, it's just shredding. Another basic one we can just get out of the way real quick here is the STG. We all know this is still a top choice. It got a slight nerf with season 4, but it's still easily one of the best rifles in the game. MX silencer, 760 barrel, 2.5 times optic. I like the folding stock on here. The recoil is just so easy. I don't feel like you need help with that with the stock. If you do want better control, feel free to use weighted or precision. Those are both decent. And stop on there, we got the Granco 50 as well, lengthened and polymer. You guys know the drill by now. We also have nerves of steel on here for better control while injured, and fully loaded on there yet again. Basic STG setup that we've been using for well over 2 seasons at this point, but it is still a top choice. I would also say the Automaton is in the rifle meta right now. It doesn't have the craziest TTK over range, but for some close range, for some mid range, it is very easy to use, and it's got a solid TTK there. And over long range, despite the slightly slower TTK, it shoots so straight, you're gonna land shots more with this versus some other weapons that might have more recoil. So it's pretty easy to actually maintain. We're again using MX silencer, the 600mm barrel here for the best control, 2.5 times or 3 to 6, whatever you are the most comfortable with. Also got the padded stock on there for better control. We got hand stop. I like the basic extended mag here, 75 round drums, lengthened and polymer as always. We're also going to go for tight grip here for that better control, and fully loaded on there once more. It shoots straight, it hits relatively hard, very well balanced, and very fun to use. Now, I wanted to make sure we had at least one Modern Warfare weapon in this video, and I think when it comes down to it, the Ram is the best Modern Warfare rifle at the moment. And even that being said, it's not really on the level of Vanguard rifles, just because they're so much more versatile. They have better movement, they have better control, so many more options with 10 attachments. But the Ram can hold its own. If you're a good player and you have a Ram versus somebody who's using an STG or an NZ that might not be the greatest player in the world, you can easily outgun them. I'm just saying, like, if it's a pro versus a pro, let's be real, the NZ's winning every single day of the week, right? But the Ram is still somewhat competitive here. On it, I'm going for monolithic suppressor, the Ranger barrel here for that best control, best velocity, Commando foregrip, the 50 round mags, then also the VLK 3 times optic on there as well. We'll go ahead, throw on the T-pose reticle, solid MW gun. I wish there were more options than just this, but that's just not where we're at. And then lastly, this is sort of my experimental one at the moment, the Nikita AVT. I wouldn't really use this as a long range rifle. It just doesn't feel like it's great for that. I like it more as sniper support, sort of a mid-range, long-range, and close-range hybrid all-in-one, you know what I'm saying? So again, we'll go for MX silencer. For the barrel, this is what's kind of weird. 3 of them basically do the exact same thing. 613, sniper, and precision all do better velocity, control, and range. But the sniper and the 613, I feel like are more meant for long range. I don't know why we have 2 of those. They're both slow and they both, like I said, do the same thing. For a sniper support build, I feel like the precision is more so the way to go. So we're going to run that. We're also going to run the 2.5 times optic on this. For the stock, the notch one is pretty self-explanatory, better control. If you wanted to go for padded, this does also help out with your movement speed and whatnot. So for sniper support, that's also a really, really good option. It just depends on your recoil control level and comfortability there. So just keep that in mind. Gonna go for hand stop per usual. For the magazine, I feel like the 50 round extended mag works just fine. 40 is kind of pushing it, 35 is not it at all. Sakura 60 would work, but also it's hurting your velocity and your range, which doesn't really do much for me. So I feel like the extended mag is just the simple, easy way to go about it. Lengthens, and we're also gonna go for taped on here again for that better mobility, helps out for some of those close to mid-range fights. Perk 1, I feel like none of these are particularly incredible. Perfectionist is probably the lesser of all evils. Then perk 2, fully loaded. No one's shocked by hearing that. Like I said, more of an experimental build, but definitely a solid rifle in this current meta. And that being said, those are the best rifles in the assault rifle meta in general in Warzone right now. And that's going to wrap things up for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, or if you found it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, or if you have not already subscribed, each and every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, so feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.